This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we'll start the session. Before starting the session, is that everyone is, I'll be treating that everyone is new for the training. But I just want to know is that you'll be, before you have knowledge on this. Hello?
Yes, little bit.
No knowledge here. I'm brand new to Java for performance engineer.
Okay, okay. I think most of you do not have any coding background even, I guess, right?
That's correct.
Right.
I'll be going it from the basic level. Even the people you who might know also so I'll be starting it from the basic level. So, and please let me know when your my voice is not audible or you uh, feel any like the faster in my voice or something. Please let me know. You can stop me in the middle, right? So when you have
Sure.
any, because I'm not sure whether you can able to listen me or not. So please let me know, right? Some if any issue. So I'll just start sharing my screen. You cannot able. Okay, I'm not sharing it. So before going to Java itself, it is not like only Java, right? So basically, why you need any programming language, neither C or Java, you have like a PHP, or there are different platforms and different languages, right? So what is the basic need of any programming language?
I think you're not sharing anything.
No, no, I have not started yet. I'm doing
Oh,
that.
okay.
So can someone answer that? Why I need any?
Hi, to make a machine understand our instructions, so for that we need programming.
Yes. Okay. Any other?
Hey, man, just made to just made a course as follow as for your reliability. What we can say that if I'm just recording any performance point of view, I if just want to any dynamic changes in that code, then we'll need to require the mention or coding if you are there.
Okay. Fine. So basically, there are a lot of reasons, right? So to take any programming language, the basic thing, fundamental is nothing but if you do any programming language, what happens is it's going to simplify the work that which you are going to do, right? So, but in the market, you will be having different languages. So you have C, you have Java, but what's the main? So before your C, you are having so before your Java you have something like structure oriented language, so where you have some disadvantages, and that's the reason you have started moving into the program oriented language. So this terminology even a little bit new, but I'll be trying to, even when I tell some terminology, you can please ask me what is that also when you have that. So what is this structure oriented or programming oriented languages is, before you have whenever they want to do an application, they used to write the language programming in assembly language. So but there are some disadvantages with an assembly language. I'll be telling what are the disadvantages with an assembly language also. But what happened, and people move into, and they found that there are some disadvantages with assembly language, and people started move to what your structure oriented language, so which will have structure, or you have some procedure oriented language. There comes with a C, right? And it was good. It's like you can able to do an application with assembly language or with structure oriented language, but there are a lot of drawbacks, and it is very difficult for a developer to make a real-time application with a structure oriented language. He has to put a lot of code, or there are some other disadvantages which is happened over, and they found that was a problem over there, and the people again moved to your programming object oriented language. That is like Java is one of your object oriented language. So you have a lot of other languages which comes under object oriented language. Its object is nothing but your OOPS principles, is like there is some set of rules and regulations that a language has to follow. Whenever I just want to develop an application, I have to follow that rules and regulations. So it come up with object oriented language, and your Java is one of the object oriented language. So the main motto of any language, neither your application language or sorry, your assembly language or C,
इसलिए तेरी प्रायोरिटी नहीं बनना है।
Gaurav, can you go on mute? Gaurav,
okay, thank you.
Gaurav, can you go on mute?
Okay.
Yes, please, yeah.
Okay. So what it is, it may be the C language, or it may be the Java, or it may be any other thing. So the main purpose of this is nothing but to simplify the task that you do, and why you have an application. So generally what generally a software does, right? So a simple example, before if you are a civil engineer, what is your purpose? You are going to do a constructions, right? So what is this purpose of a software? Even you be knowing it, but I was trying to tell it from the basics. So whatever the task that you regularly do, it is going to simplify. Before, a simple example, before we do not have in a bank, whenever you want to take a money, what we need to do, we will be standing in a queue, right? So to just take our money. But here what happened, there is an ATM machine, right, where you will be getting your money in fraction of seconds. So there is no man or someone easier behind that machine and getting the money, right? It's essentially a code. So what happened, it just simplified your life. You just simplified the task that you do. So that is a main motto of any programming language, and that's what you are going to learn, right? But there are some disadvantages and advantages of everything. I have little problem with my sharing my screen. I'm not sure. I cannot able to see this. Share. I'm not sure whether I should reconnect, cancel and connect it. But I cannot see this go to meeting again. I don't know what. Uh, give me 1 minute. Sorry, I'll just try to disconnect and connect. I'm not sure. I cannot able to view the screen again. You are audible, but I'm not able to see that go to meeting again. So that's the reason I cannot share the screen. Try to end that every background runnings of GoToMeeting, and I'll just try. Give me 2 minutes. 1 minute. I'm just sorry for that. I cannot able to share the screen. I'm not sure what's the technical issue. I'm trying to end the tasks of this and I'll try to reconnect it again. Give me 2 minutes. Can you hear me, right? Can you hear me,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
Yes,
so
yes.
please, I'll just, I'm not sure I cannot see, as I told you, right? So please give me 2 minutes. I'll just reconnect it. Okay. Now you can hear me, right? And now I think I can share my screen. I don't know, there is some technical issue or
Are you sharing your screen?
no. Actually, there was some technical issue happened. So I just, I need to connect it as an organizer. Sorry.
Okay.
I cannot able to.
Maybe your organizer can give you permission to do that.
Yes, actually, he has to give me the permission. Okay, we'll just go over a little without slide. I'll just try to share that. So sorry for that. Okay. So you know that every programming language will the system will only understand only the zeros and ones, right? And so whatever the language that you written, again it has to be converted into the zeros and ones. So who is going to do this conversion is nothing but the compiler or your assembler, which is going to do this conversion to your zeros and ones. So when it comes to the C, you call that as platform independent. Sorry, when it comes to the C, you call it as platform dependent, and when it comes to the Java, you call it as platform independent. So the reason why you call that this is one of the advantages with compared with your structure-oriented language and your object-oriented language. So what is the meaning of platform dependent is, for example, I have written some code, right? So by using my C language. So when you return that code, that at the end, whatever, for example, I just want to print some addition of two numbers. I was doing an addition of two numbers, and I just written a code to execute that addition of two numbers. So at the end, it has to convert to a binary language which understand by the system. So assume that you have written that code in Windows, right? And the same code you cannot run again in your Linux or your Mac other OSs, because your C is a platform dependent. So for example, I'm using C for Windows, I'll have some assembler, or I can say some converter which will convert my C code to the machine understanding code of Windows. Assume that if I change my if I put the same code, and what happens, you have a different compiler to run that code in your Linux or Mac. I think you are getting. So compiler is the one which is going to convert your developer code, like high level language, to your low level language which your machine understands. The compiler that is compatible for Windows is not same for Linux. That will have a different compiler. So then what happened? You need to change your compiler. Again, you will have a compatibility issue. So this, you call that C as a platform dependent, right? So when it comes to the Java, you are calling it as platform independent. So what is the meaning of this platform independent, right? I'm as a developer, I'll not worry about the what is my platform. A platform is something like my operating system, as well I can say my operating system as well as your processor. So I'll not bother whether it is a Linux or whether it is a Mac or Windows. I do not bother. I'll write my code, but who is going to take care of that compiling? And you on this top, what happened in Java, you have a concept called JVM. So it's like Java virtual machine. So we'll just learn more deeper on that. But what happens? This is the one which is going to make the code to understandable to your Windows, to your Linux or Mac. So as a developer, it is not worry for you to bother about the platform. So the same code can be run in Windows, Linux and Mac. So are you clear with this point, whether what is the platform dependent and what platform independent? And
Yes.
okay. So as I told you before, your C, that is your procedure language, you have some other language that is your assembly language, right? So, but there is a lot of standard assembly language. I'm not sure how many people are aware that how an assembly language looks. So it is like what happens. You need to do a simple addition of the code. What you need to write? You need to write a commands, right? So like I need to store a value. So for example, to do a simple addition, so what do you require? You require two variables, and that the two variables has to be stored somewhere, right? So but in case of assembly language, everything is point of memory. So what I need to do, if I want to write an addition of two numbers in assembly language, what I'll do, I'll take registering in computer, everything is of memory, right? So I'll take I'll write a command just like to copy the value of 2 into some variable location, And now what I'll do, I'll write one more command. So to store some 3 value into some of the register variable. So it's like what I'll do, I'll just add that locations of A and B. And what I'll do, I'll just store it in the third, some other register. I'm saying that some other memory, something like 102 or some other memory. So here what happens, to do a simple addition, I'm going to write 4 steps of commands in assembly language. Assume that when you are trying to develop a very big application, right? So it is going to be a huge code and huge commands, and you are going to write it a very lengthy way. So which is a very difficulty in assembly language, and there is no code reusability in assembly language. So what is the meaning of code reusability? So I am writing a code, right? So I am going to write the code once. I have to use that same piece of code 100 times or 10 times. So that if that is happening, then you call it as code reusability. For example, in application, you need an addition. To do that addition 10 times, I need to perform an addition in an application 10 times. I need to do in a program, I just want to do an addition for 10 times, right? So to do that addition, you are going to write 4 lines of code. Assume that if you want to do that addition for 10 times, and if you are writing the same 4 lines of code for other places 10 times, what happens? This 10 into 4, what happens? You are writing the 40 lines of code for simple addition. So here there is no code reusability. That was happened at your assembly language. So I'm talking about a simple addition. So when it comes to an big application, it will be very huge, right? So but this problem got solved in your structure oriented language or your procedure oriented language, that is your C. So C is one of the structure oriented language. So I'm taking C as an example, but you may have some other structure oriented languages also. And when I talk about object oriented language, I'm talking Java as an example. So this was overcome in your structure oriented language. So if it is overcome in structure, obviously it will be overcome in object also. So here what happened, they introduced a concept called methods. They introduced a concept called variables, right? So what happened, they simplified the code that a developer is going to write. He's not going to write a commands. He's going to use a methods. He's going to write variables. So here, what is a method? Is something. A method is the one where it is going to perform some action, right? So here addition is an action, right? So for that, a method, they called in Java a method. In C they call it as a function. So what is what is the purpose of your method or a function? Is to perform some task. So if I want to do an addition, that is nothing but my task. So what I need, so to do perform an addition, I need a variables. So I'll be declaring a variable A, variable B, and what I'll do, I'll just add that variables. So the introduction of variables, the introduction of methods happened because of this disadvantages. So, and I'll just store it in that variable C. And what I'll do, I'll be calling that addition method n number of times. For example, I just want it for 100 times in my application. I'll call the same piece of code 100 times. Here, there is a code reusability achieved. Here, you are achieving your functionality at any point of time by writing out it only once and by calling it n number of times. So that you call it as method, you declared once at some point and you're calling that method n number of times. So that is nothing but a code reusability. Is this point clear? Or
Yeah, it's kind of clear.
okay, so it's kind of clear, or any queries? I'm really sorry, I'm not sure why I cannot able to. The reason maybe I have joined it and disconnected, and again I have joined with my credentials. So it may be the mistake of this GoToMeeting, or I'm not sure, technical issue that I cannot able to share this. It is asking, ask the organizer to make you as a presenter, but myself I have logged in it, right? So I should be the. So even
That's
I.
okay. That's
So
okay. Maybe in next class you can share share your screen and right.
So yes. So what? So if you want to see my screen, what should happen? Like all the participant has to disconnect, and again you need to connect it. So I do not want that to happen. I do not want that disturbance. So that's the reason. So if you are okay, I'll be in this meeting here. So again you need to connect to the same link. Then I think I can able to share the screen.
Yeah, I think that would be much better.
Yeah,
So,
that's
okay,
nice.
you will be okay. So is it fine, right, for everyone to be reconnect, right? So I do not
Yeah,
want
yeah.
again. Okay, fine. I'll just end the meeting. If I end, I think everybody will be gone. So you can able to reconnect. I'll just try to start it.
Sure.
Yeah, no worries, sure.
Like if someone from Isha has that, this is what the solution, or if anyone has other thing, I can. Okay, I'll do the same thing. Then I'll end the meeting. So please try to reconnect again. Sorry for the inconvenience.
That's okay.
Hmm.
No.
I'm getting voice, but I think Isa load runner should join. Then he will be able to conduct the training.
Oh, okay.
Seems nobody joined from Isha, right?
Yes.
Maybe he should use Meetup, Google Meet.
Maybe he's trying to restart his.
Yeah, yeah. Google Meet is good. I know. Basically.
No, somebody posted saying sorry for the inconvenience. Means he's from Isha or no God?
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's better to reschedule, right? Already, is it too late in India or no?
Yeah, it's a kind of late. Already 10:42.
The session couldn't start at 10, is it? I just joined in late.
No, it was started, but there was some issue with the presenter's screens. He was not able to share it, so he was suggesting to restart the entire meeting, and we all left, and he didn't join again.
Okay.
He was restarting his machine or something.
All right. Thank you, Sumit.
Hi. Guys, do you think this session will happen today?
Yeah, it started, but I don't know again it is going to be started or not. But in the on WhatsApp they are saying technical issues with Surya. So
Okay, but I thought this session is for 10 hours, right? For how many days would they do this session?
this is the first day. Yeah, this is first day. Today is first day.
Okay.
So maybe they are going to extend for another 10 days, 1 hour every day. Because today
1 hour
nothing had
every day.
happened.
It's not on weekends, right?
Not on weekend.
Okay. Okay. So starting today, 10 days.
Yeah, but seems like we can count that Monday onward this will be there. We cannot count today's, right? Because it's kind of nothing had happened.
Yeah. Today's session is a goner, yeah.
Yeah. I think we can write on this WhatsApp chat that
Already there's some kind of communications that's going on in WhatsApp if you are following it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Kumar is chasing up with the team, I think so. Kumar is the owner of this Isha solution. I think he only messaged in the group also.